Hopefully somebody comes on. I'm gonna go get my coffee. Welcome to 100,000 Poets for Change, 10th year anniversary. It's amazing. Let me go check if there's any participants in the waiting room. Not yet. Okay. Not always sure how this stuff works. I guess I'll find out. Hey, how is everyone doing today? September 26th. I'm in Montreal, but I'm on Zoom, which means that we are in the world. We're out in cyberspace. Welcome to 100,000 Poets for Change, guys. We are so happy. It's our 10th edition, 10-year anniversary. Can you believe it? We were doing this online. It's not our first rodeo. Way before anyone else invented Zoom, for God's sakes. We were Zooming already, because when we did open mics every year except this year, we recorded it live and we would spread it out and share it for the rest of the world. So here we are again, once again. Hello. My name is Betty Esperanza. I'm the founder and curator of 100,000 Poets for Change, 100 TPC 514. That's our area code. And we are so excited because today we have several poets, writers, artists, musicians who are going to share with you their words, you know, to appease your beautiful minds. So let me just start with something I got to read because, you know, like, we don't do this off by heart. By the way, there's no censorship. So 18 and over only. Please, mommies and daddies, understand that freedom of speech, no censorship is 1 day a year here, and we would appreciate you understanding that. So if you don't know anything about what 100,000 Poets for Change is, it's actually the mind-blowing imagination of Mr. Michael Rothenberg, who 10 years ago created this event, and it became a global movement that came to life in 2011 with over 700 individual events in 650 cities and 95 countries. And I'm sure it's in everywhere. And you could check out your details for your city event, which is ongoing all year this year because of COVID. You could check it out at www.100tpc.org. Do you hear that? You can find your city. And if you can't find it, make your own damn open mic or party. Do it in your backyard, in your bedroom. We don't care. No worries. So you can join this event all year round in the language of your choice. And here even though we live in a very Quebec, French, Canadian city, we are choosing to do it in English so that we can have global exposure. So, well, all right, I think I got lost there for a second. I could see my connection telling me it's a little bit wank. Well, I'm sorry, but that happens. Okay, so I want to introduce to you our first poet, and the way we're going to do it is they will talk 5, 10, 15 minutes max. When they're finished, they'll let us know. And then we will introduce the next person. we're really happy to introduce to you Sadie Gilker. She did not send me her bio because she doesn't have to be introduced too much. I think what happens, you'll find out a lot about her if you go on her Instagram, Carl the Grim Reaper, or sad.ie.art. By the way, we will post up all these links right after this, this festival. And you can find us all on our Facebook page at 100,000 Poets or Change, or Tumblr, which is 100tpc514.tumblr.com. So you'll find all the information there, including our Instagram, which is 100tpc514. So you could find everything that you need. So who is Sadie Gilker? I actually know her personally. She's an amazing artist, amazing poet, an amazing individual. I hope she doesn't mind me telling everyone this story, but she actually went to the moon with me, well, to outer space, it'll be 10 years as well, I think. I was actually asked to submit my photography. I'm a photographer. I do street photography on the side, amongst other things. And I submitted to NASA something that would be archived in the International Space Station. And I decided to create also a postcard, and I added my sons. And who did I add? Sadie Gilker. Why? I don't know. I think it's because I was so taken aback by her art, by her friendship, that I decided to immortalize her in space. So she's the only one with me and my sons. We're actually archived in the arts archive in the International Space Station. So when there's astronauts there, they get to look at the art and read about us. Isn't that cool? So that's a pretty good introduction. What do you think, Sadie? All right, do you want to unmute yourself and take it? Tell us what you have on your mind.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Betty. That was a wonderful introduction. And I'm so happy we get to live in space together forever. Today I have 4 small poems for you guys. Some of them are old, some of them are new. So yeah, I'm just gonna get into it. This first poem I wrote when I was living in St. Henry, just at the bottom of Atwater Hill, and I was watching them destroy the Children's Hospital for condos. So this is called Condo City. The city is collapsing, Christmas lights still clinging onto cordoned off trees. Behind the barricade, steel creatures rip through concrete, creatively churning hospital to condo overnight, clasping hands, cast prayers aside, clutching to quarters, trying to buy the life curated by billboards. All the cars in Montreal are careening around the corner, rubbernecking to see the collapse of culture. The second poem, it's so weird, usually there's like a little bit of applause or whatever, but I'm still super happy to be with you guys here on Zoom, and I'll just look at you guys. The second poem is called Wreck Me. I wrote this about a year ago when I was getting sober. So I don't really know what I was thinking, but this is what came out, and I just found this recently and I thought it sounds really nice and fun. So here we go. Wreck me. A ship on the shore, waiting for high tide to rip away my broken pieces, this burned out heart and tired rope, waiting for a release, found in the thrum of waves, tumbling over unturned stones, unfurling my sails, returning me to the depths, watery and ghastly, hair like oil sleek across my cheeks, running into my eyes, one syllable at a time. Speaking into the wind, words whispered into the undulating rivulets of time, rippling through space, to find the ship whole, warning not to get too close. To shore, there is no freedom, on landlocked tundra, just cascading fields where sad feet have trudged into a symphony of calloused conditions, self-undulating, self-destruction, self-mutilation, riling in the bile below, beneath calm eyes and furrowed brow. I really like poetry for that reason, because it gives you like snapshots into where we used to be and where we're going, and you get access to parts of you that are like memories in your own body. So that was really cool to find that poem. This poem I wrote last summer. It's for everyone who has felt homesick for a place that no longer exists. Imagine feeling so homesick for a place, and upon your return, a stark realization that you're sick for a place that holds nothing for you. It has served its purpose and moved on, left you in a memory, a daze and a daydream, no longer the place you once loved. It remains the same, but it's changed. You've changed. A frantic need to escape as quickly as you yearn to return engulfs you, as sweat forms on your brow, humid air dampens the soft skin under your pits. Fists clench and veins protrude as blood rushes from heart to head to hand, understanding that you are not the same and you do not belong anymore. You are washed and grown and scrubbed clean of driftward notions, no longer recognizing the person from your memories, a girl who once stood wasted and wan, a shadow of who I was meant to be. The bus flees the city from Alfred Street because the bus station has been closed to work on a water line. This is the only noticeable difference from the last time that you were leaving from the river with a romantic view of the city, a picture-perfect postcard to bring with you in your mind's eye. Now you leave from the corner where those awful boys leered at you years ago. A high-rise development, half developed, is complete behind you, reminding you that this is not romantic. This is a place that destroyed you years ago, and the trauma that you inflicted on it and it inflicted on you bounce back and forth from history to memory to present day and back into the swamps. You return to another grimy city covered in moss and sweat and memories that will never belong to you again, never to return, finally letting it go, turning a page with relief. Thank you. And this is my last poem of the day. So I wrote this poem 3 years ago when I was renewing my learner's license at the SAAQ. And a few weeks ago, I had to renew my learner's license again at the SAAQ. And I will never learn how to drive, apparently. But this poem remains exactly the same, which is hilarious. It's just the SAAQ is this weird space that will forever be this space. This poem is called Waiting. Waiting, a constant, slow burn. Waiting, almost at the breaking point. Waiting for something to happen. Waiting for something to push me over the edge. Waiting for my insides to scream so loud. Waiting for the words to actually come tumbling from my mouth. Waiting for the right time. Waiting for what I think is the right time. Waiting for my turn. Waiting, anxiously looking around. Waiting, snap from a daydream. Waiting, clutching onto my number. Waiting, but the LED boards are nowhere to be seen. Waiting, how long have I been sitting in this seat? Waiting, there's no more familiar faces around me. Waiting, maybe it's already passed. Waiting, did I miss it by waiting? That's all I've got for today. Thank you so much.
Oh my God, that's so true. Love it. Oh my God, that's amazing. Yeah, that was really good, Sadie. I could listen to you all day. Whoop, internet, are you back? My internet seems to be unstable. I don't know what that means. It only happens when I'm on Zoom, because not on Google, not on any other Hangout. Just on Zoom. That's what I was telling you. I love Zoom, but really? Okay, so who would like to go next? Who'd like to put their hand up? Barbara. Okay, can you unmute yourself?
Yes, I've done that.
All right,
Thank
can
you.
I just
That was
do
wonderful.
one little, I'm just
Sadie,
going to read something to the viewer. So Barbara Lewis, she's a singer-songwriter and vocal coach who also has a love affair with poetry and outdoor readings where birds and trees play a lead role. Her concerts usually follow a theme, most recently Blood Orchid.
That's orchid.
Yeah, I'm thinking big, eh? Blood Orchid.
That's okay.
How women feel. Barbara also produces a YouTube channel. Hey, hello, Singing After 40. That teaches older singers ways to grow in spirit while they develop and maintain their singing and speaking voices. And you can find her website and Singing After 40 links in all our social media, which I recommend that you go and see, or you can even just, Google Barbara Lewis 100 TPC 514 and you'll probably find it. So I'm going to hand this over to the wonderful Barbara Lewis.
Thank you. Are you going to play one of my outdoor readings? Do you have that accessible? I don't hear you. Betty?
Yeah, I'm actually looking for it because
Oh, okay. I'll read first, and then you can.
Yeah, I'm just gonna look for it. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm not doing my own work today. I'm reading two pieces. One from the great book by Salman Rushdie, From the Ground Beneath Her Feet. In this book, there's a lead character whose name is Veena, a singer whom he talks a lot about. And this passage talks about the greatness of singing. And I love this. I go back to it quite often when I feel, why bother singing anymore? I mean, it's not a question that stays with me a long time, but when it sits on me, I read this passage by Salman Rushdie. He says, "Can you see me still?" He says, "Why do we care about singers? All within the span of a human hand, from which we can build our cathedrals of sound. This is as alchemical a mystery as mathematics or wine or love. Maybe the birds taught us, maybe not. Maybe we're just creatures in search of exaltation. We don't have much of it. Our lives are not what we deserve. They are, let us agree, in many painful ways, deficient. Song turns them into something else. Song shows us a world that is worthy of our yearning. It shows us ourselves as they might be if we were worthy of the world. 5 mysteries hold the keys to the unseen. The act of love, the birth of a baby, the contemplation of great art, being in the presence of death or disaster, and hearing the human voice lifted in song. These are the occasions when the bolts of the universe fly open and we're given a glimpse of what is hidden, an F of the ineffable. Glory bursts upon us in such hours, the dark glory of earthquakes, the slippery wonder of new life, the radiance of Veena's singing. I always feel better after I read that. And I noticed that when I put that on Facebook, that singers always write to me and thank me, because it gives us feeling like maybe singing is still worth it. Now I want to read a song by a poet whom I love. Her name is Jeanette Encinias. And believe it or not, Montreal is heading into the winter, even though it's super hot today. Like around 80 today, I think. Amazing. It's beautiful. But we know that winter is coming. This song is called Gathering Light for Winter by Jeanette Encinias. When you have no words for the wounds, when your body is as hollowed out and dark as a jack-o'-lantern in November, when you've lost your north, your south, your east and your west, stay still. Words for the pain are coming. Beneath the skin of your patience, your body is gathering light for winter. Your compass is emerging through water. It may take all your stories away. It may hunt and kill your pride, so you're left with nothing. Nothing but questions and space howling into the night. What next? What now? What for? This is when grace pours her warm milk into your wounds and advises you to rest, to steal the secrets of sorrow and learn her heavy song, so that you can become an instrument of resilience, turning ever forward with more than you were born with. For isn't holding hands with sorrow a bridge? Dying while you are still alive, birthing your next self, and courageously beginning anew. Thank you. They're beautiful pieces, aren't they? I love them. Betty,
Yeah.
if you found my outdoor reading, but if not,
Yeah.
that's okay too.
I have it. Yeah. So I'm going to,
Maybe
okay,
the
so just
miracle
bear
is.
with me, guys. The trick is, if you ever get out, just go back in. That's what I learned. And two, if something happens, do the same thing, just go back in, okay? Because I don't know if I've seen it happen when you go on YouTube. Anyway, so I'll see. I'm going to share the screen. I have to share the screen.
Thank you for figuring this out, Betty.
Oh my God. I am not that great, believe me.
It's not that easy.
No, I just said share the screen, but I don't know if it's, can you see anything?
No.
Okay. So it says share
I
screen.
guess we have to go on
Oh,
to
okay, I got it, I got it.
speaker view.
I got it. Share.
Oh, good for
Then
you.
I'm going to do this.
Series that I'm starting, that I'm calling Comfort Readings. It's going to be a saying or a quote or a short article that I hope will uplift our spirits and maybe inspire us. I'm beginning this in April 2020 during the crazy time of the COVID virus. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you'll come back again. The Desiderata by Max Ehrmann, 1927. Go placidly amid the noise and haste, and remember what peace there may be in silence. As far as possible, without surrender, be on good terms with all persons. Speak your truth quietly and clearly, and listen to others, even to the dull and the ignorant. They too have their story. Avoid loud and aggressive persons. They are vexatious to the spirit. If you compare yourself to others, you may become vain or bitter, for always there will be greater and lesser persons than yourself. Enjoy your achievements as well as your plans. Keep interested in your own career, however humble. It is a real possession in the changing fortunes of time. Exercise caution in your business affairs, for the world is full of trickery. But let this not blind you to what virtue there is. Many persons strive for high ideals, and everywhere, life is full of heroism. Be yourself. Especially do not feign affection, neither be cynical about love. For in the face of all aridity and disenchantment, it is as perennial as the grass. Take kindly the counsel of the years, gracefully surrendering the things of youth. Nurture strength of spirit to shield you in sudden misfortune. But do not distress yourself with dark imaginings. Many fears are born of fatigue and loneliness.
Yeah.
Beyond a wholesome discipline, be gentle with yourself. You are a child of the universe, no less than the trees and the stars, and you have a right to be here. And whether or not it is clear to you, no doubt, the universe is unfolding as it should. Therefore, be at peace with God, whatever you conceive God to be. And whatever your labors and aspirations in the noisy confusion of life, keep peace in your soul. With all its sham, drudgery, and broken dreams, it is still a beautiful world. Be cheerful. Strive to be happy. Desiderata by Max Ehrmann, 1927.
Wow.
Thank you for watching.
That's amazing. You would have thought that that was written now.
I know it's good for now. It's a perennial, it's a universal kind of piece. And for me, I love to read outside, and that's where I do most of my reading. And hearing the birds and the trees and feeling nature around me as I read these kinds of poems is such a treat. So thank you so much for finding a way to play that, Betty. It was great.
Amazing. Oh, that's my. It went on. Isn't that funny? It continues.
Yes, you have to turn that off.
Hello, my name is Barbara Lewis, who's singing.
Hold on, I gotta find it.
It's all about that awesome song, Amazing Grace.
Isn't that weird?
First, I'm going to give you a little history. Who
Oh
wrote
dear.
why.
See, this is what I
Then I'd like
told
to
you
talk
about
several singers who have made this
about
song
it.
really
Just a sec.
famous. From folk, from gospel, from blues, from the civil rights movement. And then most
You guys are getting more than you bargained for. I'm sorry.
I think it's funny that I minimized it and it didn't
It won't stop.
stop. You know what I mean? So that's exactly what a friend of mine told me happened. But I think, to be honest with you, it was some guy was listening to porn. Yeah,
Well,
I know. Some people, they have the nerve. I wish I was one of them. So thank you so much, Barbara. That was really lovely. And what I'm really happy about is that we have that on a recording so somebody can take solace in those words, right? During COVID, everybody is feeling the same type of anxiety or hopelessness, every part of the world. So we need those words of encouragement and positivity and definitely imagination and creativity.
Yeah.
So I'd like to know who would like to go next. Oh, okay, so is that Louise?
Yes.
Okay, Louise. So I'm going to let you start, but I'm going to read, if I can catch it here, I'm going to read a little bit of your bio, okay?
Okay.
So we introduce. So Louise Rita Bégin, right?
Right.
Like we say in franglais, begin. So Louise is retired and a grandmother of a gorgeous strawberry blonde little boy, Jackson, who's turning 1 year old this weekend, the weekend of the poetry readings. Hello, happy birthday. Hailing from Maine, she has lived for some 35 years in Montreal, and she has worked in the business world for many years and pursued many psychologies and interpersonal relationship studies. Her passions include reading, documentaries, and writing. A great friend of Maria Trudel, who you'll be listening to after, since 2015, when Maria and her son adopted Louise's beautiful German Shepherd Husky, mix named Miten. Louise also had another small dog, Snow. Booked for an upcoming hip replacement surgery, she realized she would not be able to care for two dogs at the same time. Little did Louise or Maria know that through this dog adoption encounter, would they become best friends, and Miten would remain in Louise's life for as long as she lived. Serendipity. Louise is reading one of her works tonight during this year's 100,000 Poets for Change, and we're so happy to welcome you, Louise, and we'll give you the floor.
Okay. My first two poems are in French. I hope somebody here understands French.
We can do it in any language you want.
Okay. I have 6 of medium to short. Okay. So, okay, I start. Silence. Je m'élance dans un long couloir vide, plein de portes fermées. Mon cri me précède et rebondit. Faudra qu'une porte s'ouvre pour qu'il prenne son. All my poems were written like over 20 years ago. The second and French one. La colère surgit, prend toute sa place. Je ne suis qu'un vase, créé pour contenir cette force, cette énergie que je réclame, que je défends, que je nourris. Je ne veux pas de ce vide triste et gris qui accompagne sa tombée. Je rentre de la place ensoleillée. Graveside in 56. I feel the threat of the earth below me, its power to open up and swallow me. Who will remember me? In their long coats, they walk about under the cemetery's still gray sky, secure in their beliefs. No hand holds mine, no arms protect me. The anguish will come later, much later. Then I will scream, scream, scream at their talk, at their platitudes. Yet even those cries will be silent. Their ears will hear only noise. I spread myself over the grass, the living earth. Would she grab me? Could she climb out of her coffin, the loose earth giving way, as she'd rise and encircle me, taking me with her? I should have said this is about my mother's burial when I was 6 years old.
There's a lot of meaning.
Talal, in my own life, from living death, twice have I known rescue. True, I can never forget. Still, I choose to remember. The secret thought you shared woke a seed of sadness. It's growing now. It catches in my throat. What has been freely given cannot be taken back, only passed on, for each to decide the when, the why, the who. Your secret plus this secret, I protect both. Time has no meaning, only life's beating heart. I will connect my fragile self. Riding bareback into the Wednesday. Crossing St. Catherine's at university on the way back from the post office. Alex will get his birthday cards next Tuesday. It's a mild 8:45. The cherry red Christmas lights of l'Abbé, the sparkle of white over the entrance to Les Cathédrales, so lovely against the gray sky. My mouth is full of loneliness, cotton candy full. What to do but hold it, feel it, taste it, hold. I can hardly stand it. These words a flare. Back on the job, joking with L, 27, in his eyes I see, what's going on? I'm a little embarrassed, but I've done myself good. That's it.
That's great.
Oh, is that it? Are you finished, Louise?
Yeah?
Okay, I wasn't sure because you just looked at us and I was like, okay.
Oh, I said that's it, but maybe you didn't hear it.
Yeah, it would be like, I'm finished. But it's really, really good. I really, really enjoyed it. All right, so who's next?
I guess I'll go.
Maria? Okay, let me read a little excerpt about you so that people know who you are. I just gotta find it where it is. Hold on. Note to self, be prepared. Okay, so Maria Trudel, a single mother with a background in fine arts and recreation and leisure. She's been dabbling in poetry along with visual arts for as long as she can remember. She started working in the business world from 1971 to 79 while doing some part-time community work. And after having worked in business, she realized she preferred working with people. So in 1979, a full-time community job was available, and she never looked back. For more than 30 years, she has worked with the people in difficulty, 20 years as executive director of Chez Doris, a women's day shelter in downtown Montreal. Maria credits her work at Chez Doris for allowing her to become a more understanding and patient person. She also realizes that street people and women in difficulty have more courage than most of us can ever imagine. The women at Chez Doris opened my eyes and taught me much more than I ever expected. It has been a very humbling but rewarding experience. In 1984, she was also a founding member of a food bank that exists today to some 30 plus Montreal agencies while providing weekday breakfast and lunch meals to a few hundred children during the school year. Yay, yay, Maria. Now retired, well, I wish she didn't retire. She's doing so good. She spends her time creating artwork and writing poetry. And since 2015, she finished writing her semi-fictional novel that is presently being edited. Congratulations. Never feeling comfortable sharing her poetry before, it is due to her admiration for me, Betty Esperanza, no way, and Betty's vibrant, no hand holds barred attitude in life, that's true, that Maria gained the courage to share a few writings with us. By the way, you have more courage than most of us, Maria. And your quote here was, writing poetry feeds my soul and drains my weary brain. It allows me to see clearly again until life's woes prompt me to write again. Having the opportunity to participate in the 100,000 Poets for Change is the first time, or actually second time publicly, that I share some of my work. It is time now. Well, Maria, you wonderful lady, it's your turn.
Yes, sweetheart. I want to thank Betty Esperanza for everything that she's done for me. And you've done so much for everyone. You really are special.
Thank you. You're welcome.
I have a couple of poems. The first one is called The Pebble and the Hawk. Beneath the pebble, she crouched tight and low. A few stray hairs of gold lay strewn about, but this she did not know. From a distance, the hard crunch of boots heard on the beach, like terror searching the hunted, for it was she they sought to reach. One sat on a rock, puffing a cigarette, staring out at the water, and in a moment's glance from the corner of his eye, the pebble trembled, and alas, he finally found her. The hawk drew down, swift and fearless, and perched upon the pebble. They did not understand that the hawk would be her guardian, and their guns and wit were no match for he. The hawk stood tall and graceful, watching everything, and with his eyes he kept the pebble and its precious cargo, the little waif, warm and safe. The guns and forces did not win. He kept her covered till all was clear. And even then he made her sleep, until she softly spoke. He heard her well. Please, sir, I must go now. But no, child, you must stay, till the sky turns gray, and we are certain that they have gone. Next thing that I'm going to read is something I wrote during all these protests that have started, I guess, back in February. And it leads back to even how I felt in the 1970s. So it's not exactly a poem, but it's a writing, okay? How I'm feeling, like an impotent lost soul, looking for some angels who can spread love, compassion, and empathy among all the people of this world. Lord knows we need it. With all the racism, bigotry, and hatred swarming this earth, we are doomed if we don't work together to put an end to it all. Our skin color is like a coat. We are all born with one. Many different coats, but beneath each, we are all the same. What really matters is that we have to look beyond the coat each of us was born with and lend our hearts and souls to each other. We are all brothers and sisters in this world. I cry knowing that too many suffer because the coat they were born with causes them pain and suffering from the likes of so many who lack empathy, who feel threatened by a coat of another color, and they lash out for no reason at all. Ignorance is not bliss. It is a terror that threatens and maims. Hatred is learned. Left to fester, it becomes cyclic over and over again in families and individuals who don't even know why they hate. Quite a few years ago, Marvin Gaye asked, "What's going on? There's too many of us dying." And unfortunately, his words ring as true today as much as they did then. We all have to take responsibility for how we treat each other. We need to treat each other as we want to be treated. Nothing less. It is simple, really. And yet we just don't follow through. It is a very sad world, and only we can change it. So the next time you see someone who thinks you'll think that they look different from you, remember that it is just their coat that is different. Look beyond the coat and see your sister or your brother. Love them, help keep them safe, and stand up for their rights, as well as those of others when you see they are being pushed down or worse. Silence isn't golden. It is downright dangerous and even criminal. We are responsible for each other. I don't see any other reason why we were given this opportunity to live on earth together. It is but a mere breath in the grand scheme of things. I believe we are good to each other. We will move on to an everlasting life. But in the meantime, our responsibility to each other, it is in our every breath we take, every step we make, and as the song goes, I'll be watching you, and watch with empathy, love, and compassion. I can hardly bear witness to the horrific things too many of us do to each other in the name of misunderstanding and narrow-mindedness and hatred. In the 1970s, once married, I wasn't sure I wanted to bring a child into this world. The famine in Bangladesh was starving and innocent people. Idi Amin was a tyrant, killing his own people in Uganda, and there was so much going on that was frightening and growing as the years went on. We didn't have internet, so we did not have the news in our face so fast and furious as we do now. But make no mistake, we have fallen short way too often in being our brothers and sisters' keepers throughout the years, centuries in fact. But here and now, in what we deem to be a civilized and first world continent, we are as lost and predatory as we were when we did not know any better. We have to be agents of change. We have no choice. Today, tomorrow, until understanding and love finally overtake the hatred and ignorance. Only then can Marvin and so many others can rest easy, in peace, because their words made a difference. And through their words and movements for change, we can make a difference.
Wow.
Okay, I have two small poems. And both of them are about people who I love so much that in a time span of 24 months, 6 of them passed away, and they were all very close to me. From my sister, my best friend also, and also my partner, his son, my ex-husband, and 2 cousins, whom I really, really loved. It's been a very difficult time for many of us in our family. And so this is what I wrote. Because when I write and I'm sad, it helps bring me out of it. Melancholy, full of folly, lest my heart cry out. Sadness pinches, goodness gracious. Is this, Lord, what it's all about? Darting in and out, just beyond my reach. They're all there behind my mind, hiding within memories. Every single loving one, those I've loved so much, their feebleness is awkward and lend a realm of constant sorrow. I can no longer hold or hug not one. I miss their scent, their taste, their voice. Had I known that pain just changed from constant unforgiving to one that solitude wraps hard, at different times to a dance of recognition. For all of thee whom left of me, a hallowed space within my ribs, though not in line as space as known, but rather as love no longer sown. 'Tis been 3 years now, all time be told, not to have known that none would grow with me near old. Relics of voices, laughter and smiles, loosely caught in thoughts of reminiscence. Sometimes forgotten, then went back to seek a forgotten goodbye, a lonely tear. Wiped ever so quick, wasn't even there. That's how I surrender myself so many days. If I haven't bored you too much, this is my last one. It's called Poem of Those Have Passed When They Visit Me. One may think they shift about, but as my head lays on my pillow, the truth is that they shimmer and stand erect as clouds that settled. There is no wind, and so they stay, yet I wished I could reach out and touch. Those whom I have loved so very much, oh, their united visit is a message, one I cannot even decipher or fathom yet. Merely staring at each with eyes of want, I beg of them to reach out and touch, but it's not to be, so I just surrender to their sight. They number 6, veiled faces, muted voices. While each peers deep within my eyes, I seek out some sort of recognition, a message, but that is not why they are here. They lend a peace I have never known, and when they leave, I sense love lost. They leave as quick as once they came. I have no say. Their visit, though, yet while a sadness rolls over me, a sense of calm is rich about. They came and left in silence, yet my head screams out for more.
No.
Oh, beautiful, Maria. That's so
Thank you.
sorry. Yeah. Everybody, everyone can unmute if they want. Yeah, COVID is, during these times, unfortunately, has seen our loved ones leave us quicker than expected. And it's a sad thing, but I'm really happy that you're writing out your words and your feelings and sharing it with us, because it's really important. It's really beautiful. And it's a testament to everyone. So I want to segue to Gabor, because he's in Hungary right now. I think it's 1 a.m, right, Gabor? I just want to read.
It's hi Betty.
Hi.
It's 11 p.m.
11 p.m. All right, so it's not too late. I'm just going to introduce you to our public, because we're recording this, and the bio that you sent me, it's very short, but at least everyone will know who you are. Sorry if I massacre your how do you say your last name, even though I'm also Hungarian. I don't speak it anymore. So Gabor Gyukics.
Very good.
Yeah, I figured out. Budapest-born poet, translator, Hungarian Beat Poet Laureate lifetime, and author of 11 books of poetry in 5 languages, 1 book of prose, and 16 books of translations, including A Transparent Lion, the selected poetry of Attila József, and Swimming in the Ground, a contemporary Hungarian poetry in English, and an anthology of North American indigenous poets in Hungary. That's really fascinating, and I'm really looking forward to your excerpts. And take it away, Gabor.
Okay, thank you. 3 poems. Thanks for having me. Thanks for thinking of me. And hi, everybody. The 3 poems from Hermit Has No Plural. You don't see it very much. Came out in 2015 by Singing Bone Press in the States. About to decide. Through the interfacial hair-tiny crack of the locked train window, blown in snow pellets freeze an ice relief on the windowsill. The rushing train scares a heron away from the ice sedge marsh along the tracks. A raven chases off a pair of turtle doves from a pine tree bough to see the tracks drilling through the woods. A pine needle punctures the snow and suffocates in an ice seed. A magpie is watching all these. This bird is still at home. It wouldn't want to go where the sky is not the same. Sorry, I just put my young one to sleep. So I was sleeping with him for 2 hours. And I set my alarm not to miss this opportunity.
Good one.
The second one is The Noontide and the Chemist. The funnel of a once-to-come, quizzical noontide edged itself to the long-colored branches of ancient trees. A subtle chemist surprised the seashore crowd by burning himself and becoming the subject of his own chemistry as he was washed away. The residue didn't register anywhere. Only a saw-toothed shadow of a scapula was seen later under a sinister cliffside. A few years back, I was fortunate to visit Savannah, Georgia, and my friend took me to the cemetery. Cemetery at River Savannah. Leaning to the oyster brick fence, watching as ants order ants to labor, you seem to perceive whips in their forearms. You won't talk about the place you visited in your dream to anyone. With pre-written answers, you ignore the questioners. You smooth your forehead. The peeling of your skin is wind-blown dust. Under the moonless sky, your shadow walks the sun to the other side. That's the three I thought I would share with you today.
Oh my God, I was like wanting to have more. That's like a little tease, Gabor.
Yeah, I write, I'm considered a minimalist in Hungary. So I write very short poems. I know when an American poet says, oh my poem's very short and reads for 15 minutes. And I say, well, my short poems are really short.
Yeah, and that's very true what you just said there. Yeah, I've had, in the last 10 years, we've had poets from all over the world. And I think one of the shortest ones was someone from Japan. Mm-hmm. Who came on and all he did was bird, and he walked away. Really? And we all looked at each other going, okay, bird. It's just that we were really not expecting it, you know? Yeah. Okay, so I'm wondering if Michael Ellis would like to come and read next. All right. Can you unmute yourself?
Am I unmuted? Can you hear me?
Well, I'm going to read your biography.
Okay, good job.
So that everyone who's like watching and will find out who you are, where you're from. Thank you for coming, Michael. I really appreciate it. So Michael Ellis, he prides himself on writing in 12 different genres of literature and for being published on several continents. He prides himself also on using poetry to heal. He has taught creative writing in the US prison system and in the public school system for the last 7 years. He's the founder of Keynote Poets in the United States and the Marula Poets, which leads poets worldwide, publishing an anthology for poets across the planet. He's the author of a rhyming novel, Dear Oprah, and was featured in a film that can be viewed on Amazon Prime. In 2015, he wrote a chapbook, They Wouldn't Let Me Be White. His most recent book of poetry is titled Goodbye, Langston. Ellis was published at the age of 17 and was predicted to walk in the shoes of his mentor, Langston Hughes. In 1977, he received several letters from Pulitzer Prize winner Gwendolyn Brooks, who soundly convinced him to get his own shoes. And he has performed in nearly 2,000 public recitals. His poems on breast cancer have been shared around the earth and in many hospitals. My God, Ellis. All right, take it away. It's all yours.
Thank you. Thank you, Betty and everyone. I'm honored to be here. I'm going to start out with racism. To me, I compare it to Winnie the Pooh. The honey jar always falls on your head. I didn't want to be a race poet, but when the jar just keeps falling on your head, you have no choice to write about trees and sequoias and birches. So I'm going to read a poem called They Wouldn't Let Me Be White. And this is based on my university experience when I went to an all-white university. They wouldn't let me be white. Oh, I wanted to be. Dreams of that Pulitzer haunted me. They said, "Sir, you only have 10 minutes to play." I gave them Milton, Poe, and Millay. I stood before that panel like I was auditioning for Jesus on Judgment Day. I belted out those rhymes like Sandberg. I gave them sweet, elegant words. I gave them personification and anapest. I gave them trochee with syllables, unstressed. I played those Robert Frost blues, those road less traveled blues, those Thomas Hardy going down, down on the Titanic blues. And they said, "Son, you know, you can be the greatest since Langston Hughes." And oh, I was out of sight. I switched up, got fancy, moved the stressed syllables from the left to the right. But still, they wouldn't let me be white. As I read, they popped their fingers and they moved their heads from left to right. So I took a bow and I smiled up at those lights. I gave them Dickinson, Browning, and Keats. I had those white judges on their feet. I played until they saw stars. And then a judge leaned over and said, "You remind me of Paul Laurence Dunbar." I played Eliot. I played Cummings. I played Stevens too. I had those white folks out of their shoes. And oh, I lifted them 100 miles off the ground. But when they came down, they said, "You remind us of Sterling Brown." I said, "Come on, get out of town." I closed that audition with my best haiku. They said, "Emmy, don't take this wrong. We like you." I took a final bow. I had performed to their delight. But still, they wouldn't let me be white. Thank you for that one. That was that one. Thank you so much. I hope I can get two in, but this one I want to read.
Yeah, no, don't worry. We have time. I'm listening. We're all listening. Go ahead.
Perfect. This is called Racist Cop. Many years ago, I had 7 guns pulled on me one night in Los Angeles. It was like a Steven Spielberg movie when I got out of the car. It was just guns and red and blue lights everywhere. So the police officer said, "You do not know how close you came to being shot." So the woman that I was with, she said, "You just want to shoot black people." And he said, "The only reason we didn't kill you is because it takes 4 hours of paperwork every time we kill somebody. And we want to go home, and that's why we didn't kill you." And so that nightmare will follow me the rest of my days, and I'm going to read this poem.
Oh my God.
Yeah. If I die at the hands of a racist cop, know in advance that I didn't cry, plead for my life, or beg them to stop. And the coroner will say that I had SHNS, superhuman Negro strength, or suffered from BNS, breakable neck syndrome. They'll say my black esophagus couldn't support the weight of 5 200-pound cops. And some police commissioner will say I reach for his officer's gun, or that black ribs break easier than white ones. If I die at the hands of racist cops, they'll say they warned me, but I refuse to stop. And 22 bullets caused me to drop. But know that my final words will probably contain a few choice words for their mothers, maybe a few racial epithets, not aimed at good white people, but only at the police officers with the audacity to think that killing me will keep me and my people from rising to the top if I die at the hands of a racist cop. Thank you for that. That was, and this is my final poem here that I will share. One of the things I learned in poetry is, you know how in a singing place you get requests. Well, someone asked woman with the late stage of breast cancer asked me something similar. And she said, I've been diagnosed with advanced breast cancer, and I want you to write a poem. She said, I'm going to talk to you every few days to let you know what I'm going through, and this poem is significant, and I want you to write it. You okay, Luke? Oh, that's Luke. Oh, I'm waiting for Luke to get done. Okay. Am I the only one that sees Luke? Oh.
I just saw him. I'm going to actually get rid of him.
Wait. Tell me when you want me to go.
Yeah, go ahead. I just put him in
mute.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, here we go. This is called The Worst Love Poem Ever Written. Here we go. I suck at dying poems, chemo poems, metastatic cancer poems, hair falling out in the shower poems. And I told a half-truth when I told you I could write you one in less than 6 months. It's been 8. I apologize for being so late. I wanted your poem to be pink and graceful, like those ribbons I see all over the internet, filled with cheesy, generic rhymes that could get me hired by Hallmark. I just know my metaphors will start melting, and all my similes will get all soft. I guarantee you the rhyme meter will be off. I went to Google and I typed in the word happy, and 3 billion things came up, but not a single inference to breast cancer, hair loss, no redirects to mastectomies. The only thing research could teach me is that a good day on chemo is when your stool doesn't come out tar black and has no blood in it. Or when your urine smells better on Wednesday than it did on Tuesday. Sleeping less than 12 hours when 24 would be better. Still, I refuse to finish this poem without something bright and hopeful, and I know I'm doing a horrible job. You see, America has more poets than it does alcohol. I'll continue. You see, America has more poets than it does alcoholics and pot smokers combined, and you choose me to be your breast cancer poet laureate, trusting me to write a poem about the biggest battle in your life. And don't think I didn't notice your Facebook activity has decreased by 88% in the last 3 months. And you really aren't coming to any more of my poetry shows, are you? But still, we have January and February. And how do I write a poem, a breast cancer poem, with no reference to breast? I get embarrassed. That would be some kind of oxymoron, I guess. But even if you had one breast or no breast, or if you had less hair than I do, I promise to look only in your eyes and never ever even notice or even think about it. And never for a moment would I feel sorry for you. Yeah, I suck at lying too. But I don't suck at loving you or hoping you wake up tomorrow morning with no cancer at all, and that the Eiffel Tower will be right outside your bedroom window. And I would be right there with you, holding your hand while we look down on Paris, and you could impress me with your French again. And if I ever make it to the Pulitzer Poetry Board, I might lose 1,000 points just for this poem alone. And my hopes for the prize will be smitten. And some old person with white gray hair will say that this was the worst love poem ever written. Thank you. Thank you so much for that. Oh, thank you. I can't hear you, Betty.
Sorry about that. I guess Lucky Luke got his chance to do his 15 seconds of disturbing the Zoom. That's the reason why I don't like Zoom. Got people like him. But, you know, he could have, like, you know, asked to do his little shtick for a minute if he wanted to, but I keep putting him into waiting room, and he's probably a hacker. So welcome to our life. All right.
Sure. Well,
so I'm going to ask Melinda, are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay, good. I'm going to read. It's going to be Melinda, then Jacqueline, and then Chard. Okay. Just so you guys know. Hold on. I just got to go and find the page, Melinda. Okay, so I'm going to introduce Melinda Cochrane. She's a poet and fiction author. Her publication credits include The Art of Poetic Inquiry, novella Desperate Freedom, and 2 collections of poetry, The Man Who Stole Father's Boat, and She's an Island Poet. Desperate Freedom was on the bestsellers list for 1 week, and The Man Who Stole Father's Boat is one of hope and encouragement for all those living in the social welfare system. She's been published in online magazines such as Life as Human and Shannon Grissom's magazine. Melinda received the Mary Bell Campbell Scholarship for Poetry from the North Carolina Writers Network, and was also a winner of the Summer Malahat Review Weekly Monastish Contest. She's published work in the Quills Literary Poetry Journal, as well as the Red Fez and Poetry Zoo online poetry journals. She's read in Bournemouth, England, North Carolina, and Montreal's, of course, 100,000 Poets for Change, yo, as well as a number of book launches and other events. Her speaking engagements focus on healing, finding your passions, and executing them. She's also a writing coach to several of her writers. Her teen novel, Desperate Freedom, was nominated by the Quebec Writers Federation for the Book of the Year. Congratulations on that. And Melinda was also a long list winner for the Fermor International Poetry Contest. Also recently published with digitalbog.com, Manhattan, New York, Behind the Pen, a love story, also available at melindacochrane.com. Recently published No Ordinary Life with Soul Asylum Publishing.
He beat the fucking shit out of you.
Yeah.
I know which is.
Yeah, and here's another
But
guy.
that's fucking.
Yeah, here we go. And there you go. He's going to keep coming back. So yeah, Seth, go ahead, Melinda. Sorry about that. It might happen that I'll have to mute my friend Luke. Melinda, are you going?
I'll wait.
Get the fuck out of here. I mean, the cops, they're getting over it. Number one.
Okay, I got rid of him. Sorry about that.
Oh.
I think we'll just, he's gonna be coming back on. This is a problem with hackers on Zoom.
Zoom, yeah.
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 That's why. Okay.
Do you want me to start?
Yes, please.
Okay, no problem. The first poem I'm going to read is called Lemon Seed, and it's dedicated to all my fellow cancer survivors. There's a lemon seed buried between my hope, where God lives and feeds my dreams of endless possibility. It is stuck there, clogging up my throat, making me lose
Close
my...
to me. You see what he did, Big Mike? You see what he told me a summons, and he told me go so. I said, lucky. He said, I'm lucky. I said, yeah.
Okay, I'm going to start again. Lemon seed. There's a lemon seed buried between my hope, where God lives and feeds my dreams of endless possibility. It is stuck there, clogging up my throat, making me lose my tranquility. No matter how much I pray, it makes me scared. No matter how much I say, God seems to fill up more when alone. When leaves cross my path or suddenly things to me seem quieter in my vocal tone, that damn lemon seed. And then when I try to speak, it hurts my throat. I cough. My voice seems hoarse and tired, so tired. And that seed growing every day seems to plant a lemon tree somewhere within my own spiritual belief. And I find myself holding on to that lemon seed, caressing it with love as if to make it go away and leave. And then my soul speaks to listening ears within me. And I know the walk's going to be to the next grand plot of trees, all hanging with lemons, and each with
Nobody
lemon seed.
fucked with Joe the cop. I mean, the cop, they rode around too.
I don't know if you heard that. Did you guys hear that poem, or Betty?
Yes, yes, we heard it.
Okay, I didn't read the last line. I don't think it, did you guys hear the last line, or?
No.
No. And I know the walk's going to be next to a grand plot of trees, all hanging with lemons and each with lemon trees. And the next poem I'll read is called Quiet. There is nothing quieter than a heart. I'll try again. Quiet. There is nothing quieter than a heart. But silence seems to be the place it can find peaceful light, comforting flight. And as if it was never heard, it disappears into a sacred place, as if God needed to hold it now, as if God needed to hold it then, a little longer in his grace, and to give it the place to express its pain, its hurt, its aching, its longing, its pain.
I'm black, because I'm white, you start giving up.
God allows it all without punishment or reminder that it isn't the same, isn't remembered, isn't rehearsed, isn't practiced, isn't loud enough amongst the noise louder than it should ever be, in a world where God stands to watch amongst us, seeking us, loving us, loving us, loving us the same. And he sits on a riverbank somewhere, not seeing the difference in the riverbank he sat on from miles away, seeing the same sunset and sunrise.
Cops, they get no fucking respect today. I remember one time my friend's father, old man Malone, he said, big.
Over all his children, separated by a need greater than he can love away. But he doesn't give up as bombs and hate and words and guns blow us up. He walks between waters left too still, and the heart breaks. Our heartaches quieter than any heart should be or should have been, because again, it was mistaken for a silent one, and he touches it within. And then it grows louder than the noise he watches in a lonely world filled with men and women sitting by rivers and banks with no one watching.
Have a nice day, Mr. Malone. Go fuck yourself. I mean, can you imagine?
Watching his beautiful sunrises and sunsets, and somewhere in the distance he hears her and him again and again, painful sorrow ringing from windows open to let the air in, and he finds them and lets his love set in before the darkness begins, and the hearts are louder now, and maybe heaven sings with them as they look at one another and cry loudly, we are all the same. And then my last one is Believe. They say the panic is causing us to dream more while asleep. People talking about the struggle for breath as we struggle to keep the faith. Mass graves being built, they say find hope. Panic setting in, anxiety turning into frustration, families waiting for the government checks to pass through. It's dark outside right now. To find our faith. From the night on an old woman's face in a nursing home disappear in the sound of her daughter's voice telling her, Mom, you made it. And it rings out for the world to hear too. We will make it. We will breathe. Believe. And that's it for me. Thank you, Betty. I really appreciate it.
I had to mute everybody, so I'll have to unmute you guys individually so that Luke, I just tried to remove him. I succeeded. Bye, Luke, sorry. You might try to get back in. So the next person will be Jacqueline. She says that her lighting is not well, and so she doesn't want to show her face. So let's introduce Jacqueline, and then I'll unmute her. Hold on. Jacqueline Lewis Langston is a skilled wordsmith, essayist, and musician who serves on the Festival of Word Board of Directors. I didn't even know there was a Festival of Word, which is so cool. And her lifelong musical expertise infiltrates poetry and creative writing. And if Jacqueline could write a poem for you if you want, there's a link that I posted on her, like a link in the bio that I did, and it's everyone's on social media, or you can ask for it here. And so Jacqueline, I'm going to ask you to unmute. Okay, okay, there you are. Oh, there you are. Good stuff. How you doing, Jacqueline?
Great. Yeah. What a wonderful opportunity to be here today. Today is marvelous. Today is wonderful. And I am thankful to be able to be here and listen to all the heartfelt and all the talent. And here I go. This is for the woman who has found out that she is truly her best friend. The name of it, and she is Strength. Strength comes to mind, like silhouettes play on a silver screen, and the guts and glory kind of strength that endures past 1,000 black midnights across an angry sky, which defies the dismal laden cloud which screeches overhead, the kind of strength who dares to tell the darkness, behave. And yet she is my friend. She's me, a confidant. Gifted comes to mind as a skillful listening ear. Perception, it's keen enough to hear muffled dreams. Gifted listening, which captures the frequency of our souls and rides the waves until you know too, that it all works. All of this, even today, it all works for good. And she really is. That girl really is my friend. Remedy? Remedy comes to mind as her speech articulates harmoniously across the dissonance of the melody, the inflections, the twisted arpeggios of refrain, the repetitious broken chords in and out of sequence. She is the kind of remedy, word melodic remedy that rocks your soul just as if you were swaddled in the blessed bosom of Abraham. And yes, she is. She is. She is me. Thank you. My next one is called The House of the Haunted. Here we go. Them bones, them dry bones, them bones, ooh, ooh, them bones, them dry bones, ancient bones. Now hear the word of the Lord. If it had happened on Halloween, perhaps we all would be crystal clear of the shift, the paradigm, be into the quantumness of our dearest and our dears. Screams horrendous screams that riveted from our bodies, screams of the awakened ancient souls, a magnetic matrix on an apocalyptic mission with chilly hands from the valley and the valley of the bones. Oh, yes, we used to sing the songs warning, keep on running this race. 'Cause the house of the haunted beckons. Slow down, child, rest for a while. But they don't tell you it's an inescapable place. The ancient ones, the enemy, oh, no, my dear. They are, emphatically speaking, they are the wheel in the middle, in the battle, in the middle of powerful wheels. With a syncopated silence, so loud they sing, keep on running, keep on running. 'Cause the house of the haunted, she's still a beckoning. Slow down, child. Trust me, rest for a while. But they don't tell you that it's an inescapable place. With pious patriotic promises, they will march with you, trample the soul, convincing you in cognitive cadences that it's the ancient ones, the enemy, the cold. Oh, but my dear, we are still singing the songs of warning. Keep on running, keep on running. The house of the haunted beckons. Slow down, child. Trust me, rest for a while. But they don't tell you it's an inescapable place. I have one more, real quick. It's a quick haiku. It's called In To Me See. Okay, it says, doubtless paradox. One can look without seeing, listen without hearing. And thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you, Betty. Thank you, everybody.
Beautiful. I loved it.
Thank you.
Quite refreshing, by the way. I'm pretty impressed. I don't think I've ever heard you before. I usually stalk people online. I'm going to be for a while.
Okay, cool. We're having a little festival in November.
I'd love to share your content for sure.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, and I'm going to be doing that with everybody as well.
Okay.
So we had a couple of cancellations. I don't know if you noticed, but I'm looking down on my phone because people are texting me. That's the only thing when you don't have an assistant. You got to do everything yourself. I know all of us are in the same boat, especially the COVID boat where we're solopreneurs, right?
Exactly.
So I'm going to end the Great Festival early, but we're going to have Chard sing off. I was going to do something, but it's a bit winded. I'm not sure if I should do it before Chard. Maybe you will. Maybe I should do a little something, right? What do you think, Chard? Yeah, and then it'll be Chard, and he'll end it for us, and then I'll do like my goodbyes and tell everyone where to find us and everything. I was going to do something. Wait, choose. I'm going to do something I've done before. I used to actually know it off by heart, but for some odd reason, I'm getting older and my brain is not happening. So you can oblige me here. I'm going to do choose life, okay? Choose life, choose a job, choose a career, choose a family, choose a fucking big television, choose washing machines, cars, compact disc players, and electrical tin openers. Choose good health, low cholesterol, and dental insurance. Choose fixed interest mortgage repayments. Choose a starter home, choose your friends, choose leisure wear and matching luggage. Choose a 3-piece suit on hire, purchase in a range of fucking fabrics. Choose DIY and wondering who the fuck you are on Sunday morning. Choose sitting on that couch watching mind-numbing, spirit-crushing game shows, stuffing fucking junk food into your mouth. Choose rotting away at the end of it, pissing your last in a miserable home. Nothing more than an embarrassment to the selfish, fucked up brats you spawned to replace yourself. Choose your future, choose life. But why would I want to do a thing like that? I choose nothing. I choose not to choose life. I choose something else. And the reasons? There are no reasons. Who needs reasons when you've got heroin? By the way, this is actually a rap song that Sadie Gilker, who performed before, got me into a couple years back. And I have written, I think I expanded my writing that way. I have written in this second, this type of like rap, rhythm. But for some odd reason, as I'm getting older and tired, I don't have the capacity, the mental capacity to articulate like I used to for some odd reason, which makes me laugh because I talk a lot and I should be able to rap and sing and hip hop and bebop and do all those things. But I don't know, I maybe I need more practice, but I hope I indulge you with my little bit choose life. And I just want to read a little intro about Chard, or Richard, Chard Richard. Okay, got to find him here. Richard and I go back to the Mariposa days, which has been a while. So Chard, or Richard Chenier, is originally from St. Boniface, Manitoba. His studio is now located obviously in Montreal. As a teenager in the early 60s, he was tutored by respected artist Pauline Boutal, who had studied in Paris, and she taught him artistic fundamentals of process, composition, and color. And at the age of 15, after seeing a collection of paintings by Vincent Van Gogh at the Winnipeg Art Gallery, he decided his life's vocation was to be a painter. Wow, at 15, I don't know what I was doing, but I definitely didn't know what I wanted. And in 1969, after a brief career as a harmonicist in Montreal, he moved to Vancouver, where he began painting intensively. And his first exhibit in 1973 was at the University of British Columbia. And in 76, he was awarded a Canada Council grant and published a book of drawings called Faces. And he returned to Montreal in the mid 80s when everyone was leaving. And he exhibited internationally, obviously from San Francisco to Tel Aviv. And in 93, he won the first prize at the Grand Prix International de Montréal, Gallery Sodarco, for his canvas Leap of Faith. And in 96, he was invited to do a one-man show at the Washington Arts Club in Washington. And he still paints, and he still does he's still a harmonicist. He's an amazing person. You can visit his website, Chard Art, so it's CHARDART.com, and to see what he's up to. And you can even purchase and visit his studio gallery. And I'm going to now give Chard the mute. I'm going to unmute him so he could wow us with his beauty. But I'm asking you to unmute. There you go, Chard. Are you good?
Yeah, I'm good. That
All
was
right.
a very nice introduction.
Well,
I'm
it's
sorry
a lot.
I arrived late.
No, actually, you didn't arrive late. We had scheduled after 6, but with everything that's going on, we decided to speed it up. And everyone has been very, generous with their words, but frugal with their time. So there you go. It's all yours.
Okay, I'll keep it short and sweet. Little poem I wrote for my wife. mon amour, avant que je sois avalé par cette terre. Laisse-moi sentir ta pureté une dernière fois. Toucher tes cheveux bouclés, finement tissés. Revoir le miracle de ton regard. Laisse-moi placer ma main doucement derrière ton cou. Chuchoter, je suis toujours en amour avec toi. Je me fous de qui ou quoi. Qui ou quoi. Mon âme gitane s'envole maintenant. Au-delà du précipice. Mon âme gitane s'envole au-delà. Au revoir, and thank you for inviting me. You're very kind.
Oh my God, I would have loved to have more of that, Chard. You're a real teaser.
Well, I just recorded a version of that with the whole band.
Oh yeah?
That'll be coming out at some point.
Well,
Anyway.
I think the whole version is what we would have loved, but I mean, yeah, I mean, I guess we'll have to iTune it, right? Download it somehow.
Eventually.
Yeah.
If you go to chartart.com, there's a music section. So
Oh.
you can always check out my new albums and things like that.
That's awesome.
But I'm mainly a painter who likes to play harmonica. That's all.
I think all of us
I'm
are.
very flattered that you invite.
Yeah, well, we're really happy to have you here.
Yeah.
And all of us together, even though this is an unstable connection with Zoom, but it's being recorded, so we can, pick up the excerpts, on the internet, which I will be sharing. And I think the last email, I put all your emails together so that you could talk to each other and reach out to each other. And that's what's really important. Normally in an open mic, remember Chard, or even Barbara and Maria too, you've been to my events in the last couple of years. It's like jam-packed, it's crazy, it's loud, it's very musical, very emotional. But of course it's in a small venue where we're like touching each other, glasses clinging, the cling of the glasses, and the chit chat, banter in the back. And this is a different way of doing things. Even though we used to always live record and live stream, it's not the same because we're not together. But I have to say that I really felt your emotions and your generosity by sharing your words to us here and also to the public. And I think it's fantastic, and we need to talk more. We need to share more. We're not doing that enough. There's a lot of people out there who see a lot of people for whatever reason, even during COVID, because of work or on Zooming online, but are feeling lonely. I think that we have to use our words carefully and, find the passion and compassion in our words to soothe people's minds and rebuild, our strengths. during this time of self-isolation. And that said, I want to end off by unmuting everybody. I'm going to ask you guys all to unmute, please. Make sure you're unmuted so that we can say bye to each other if you want to say anything. This is a time to do it. Everyone who's watching can go to www.10010TPC514.tumblr.com. You can also find us on Facebook, Instagram, and the World Wide Web. You will find everybody's little bio, photos, and their links, which I'm going to be putting in after. I'm going to put all the links that they sent me, and if you haven't sent a link, go ahead. If anybody's watching this and wants to be featured on our website or the 100tpc.org, which is the worldwide, it'll be featured in over 650 cities, 95 countries. Please send me an email at 100tpcmontreal@gmail.com, and I will make sure that whatever you send me will be housed and archived at the San Francisco University for life, for eternity. You're all, whatever you send me will be housed. Like, I would need that before the end of November. And also, I will be reaching out, on the web, maybe in December, for people to do a read a book to a child excerpt for Christmas, since a lot of kids are not going to be able to see their families, except their immediate families or their little bubbles. I was thinking we could do read a book, and everyone could choose a child's book, and we could read a book, and we could record it and then post it as a gift to a child for Christmas. How was that?
Good idea. Yes.
And I will try to get some prizes of books. I'm going to try to get some books. So if you do take a book excerpt from somewhere, I will try to get that book and then have it given to a child here or somewhere. We'll ship it. I do this often with skateboards, so I know how to get stuff to people, especially to kids. I thought maybe it would be a great idea. Read a poem, read a book, whatever you like, okay?
I love that idea. Betty, I'm
So
sorry.
does anyone want to say anything? Just bye?
It was a wonderful participation. Thank you so much, Betty.
No, you're welcome, guys. I'm the one who feels super blessed.
Thank you all.
Thank you, Michael.
Bye,
Great. Everybody go check each other out. Encourage each other. Blog about each other.
Thank you, Betty.
You're welcome. I love you guys. Stay very healthy.
Bye.
Stay away from people with COVID. It's not hard. Just put a mask on. Put the mask on.
Thank you for everything. Bye.
Bye, guys. Love you guys.
Yeah. Bye.
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 Bye. Bye, Chard. Bye, Maria.
Bye, sweetheart.
Be good.
Yep.
Well, that ends this 2020 version of 100,000 Poets for Change. We had half the people. We had lots of technical difficulties. We had Luke, unexpected Luke Hacker, coming in and screaming. He did a good job. Good job, Luke. We would have loved to have him do something for real, like be part of it. He was, but in excerpts. And sorry I had to put you in the waiting room. You were interrupting. And just like anything else, we need to give people a voice. So if Luke's out there, keep doing what you're doing. Maybe ask for permission, make friends. And everyone stay safe, stay healthy, reach out to somebody, make a phone call, send an email, text message, let them know that you're thinking about them. And please feel free to contact us if you have any ideas on what you'd like to do online. You want to share poetry, music, anything on art, we would love to feature it. Anyway, good luck. See you next year. And remember, poetry is life.